All right, we have some breaking news in hockey. The Islanders have traded defenseman Noah Dobson to the Canadiens for a package including 2 first-round picks in tonight's draft. You see the details here. This is all according to multiple reports. So Montreal is promptly locking in Dobson with an 8-year extension and $9.5 million average annual value. So the Islanders have 3 picks in the first round now, including number 1, and they're reportedly looking to move the 16th and 17th picks from this trade to move up for Boston College prospect James Higgins. So some breaking news coming down ahead of the NHL Draft, which again kicks off tonight from Los Angeles. As mentioned, the Islanders, they have the number 1 overall pick, and then they also now have 3 picks in the first round. The Islanders, they have the 10th best chance of winning the lottery at 3.5%, but similar to the NBA draft, things were in their favor, and of course we know they're going to target Matthew Schaefer, and that recent reporting coming out saying that they're reportedly looking to move the 16th and 17th picks from the trade to move up and go get James Higgins. All right, let's dive into all of this and how this all fits with this breaking news with our NHL expert here, Pierre McGuire. And we're starting with the Islanders and Matthew Schaefer. They now have 3 picks in the first round, with the reports coming out here that they're going to trade up and go get James Higgins out of Boston College. So what are your thoughts on that move and all of this as it's coming together, as they now have 3 picks in the first round for the draft tonight?
Nice to visit with you, Jacqueline. Number 1, the sign and trade is really important on Dobson, because if Dobson gets traded without being signed, then he can't get 8 years. He gets 8 years now because he was signed by the Islanders before he got traded to Montreal. It's lower than his AAV probably should have been. He wanted to be around $11 million. He's coming in a little over $9 million. But he gets that 8th year, that extra year. Montreal desperately needs a right-handed shooting defenseman. They lost David Savard to retirement. Now their top 4 in Montreal is really elite, and you're going to have an amazing power play in Montreal when you think about it, with Dobson and Lane Hudson. So Montreal has really identified something they desperately needed, a right-handed shooting defenseman. So that's great for them. For the Islanders, getting 16 and 17 plus Emil Heineman, that gives them enough ammunition to go out and try to trade down to get James Higgins out of Boston College, who I think is a very good player. He's Jack Hughes, who plays for the New Jersey Devils, just not as good, but very similar.
So I'm curious, and we kind of touched on James Higgins. So if that report is accurate and that's what they're going to do, trade up with the 16th and 17th picks to go get him, talk to us a little bit about this hypothetical pairing, right, with the consensus number 1 overall pick in Matthew Schaefer and then Higgins as well. How will those guys in tandem impact the Islanders right away, or will they?
Well, I think both of them are going to need some time. Schaefer only played 17 games this year for the Erie Otters, Jacqueline. He had a broken collarbone at the World Junior Hockey Championships in Ottawa, where he was clearly one of the better players for Canada. Canada missed him. They did not win a medal because of Schaefer being injured. Schaefer this year played 17 games for the Erie Otters. He had 24 points. He's a marquee franchise-type defenseman. He's one of the few players in this draft that I would say has a chance to be a franchise player. He will desperately help the Islanders. He's a left shot, but he can play the right or the left side. In terms of Higgins, I think, Jacqueline, he's probably a year away, maybe a little bit more. Going back to Boston College, playing for Greg Brown is really going to help him a lot. He needs to work on his face-off play. He needs to work on his down-low play. But one of the things that really helped James Higgins this year, playing at Boston College with Ryan Leonard and Gabe Perreault. Gabe Perreault's with the New York Rangers right now. Ryan Leonard's with the Washington Capitals. He will have learned so much from those top college players who are now playing in the National Hockey League. James Higgins, if he's drafted by the Islanders, will be a very solid NHL player.
Yeah, Higgins ranked the number 1 college player according to NHL Central Scouting, by the way. So it feels like the draft really starts here at number 2, and we're talking about forward Anton Frundell. I have to make sure I'm not giving a slip here and saying Anton Lundell from the Florida Panthers. But Frundell is a player that could possibly go number 2 to the Sharks. How come?
Well, I think the Sharks want to get a little bit more bite in their game, no pun intended. And I think Anton Frundell, Jacqueline, is that guy. He'll remind you a lot of Gabriel Landeskog, the captain of the Colorado Avalanche when they won the Stanley Cup a few years ago. The biggest thing about Frundell, he can play center, he can play wing, he can play with bite, he can play with skill. He's a guy under the age of 18 that played against men in the Allsvenska, which is a league just below the SHL. The SHL is the best league in Sweden. Djurgården, his team that he played for forever, didn't qualify for that league this year, so he played in the league below. But he's a tremendous player. He's not ready for the NHL yet, but I think if San Jose takes him, it's a real solid pick. It identifies an organizational need of bite, grit, and leadership.
All right, next up, let's talk about Michael Misa, who, by the way, is the #1 ranked North American forward, according to NHL Central Scouting. And you don't see him going past 3. So it would be, in your eyes, Pierre, very, very rare if he goes past that #3 pick.
So there are a bunch of reasons why, Jacqueline, I'm going to say that. Number one, it's been since 2006, 2007 that somebody scored more points than Patrick Kane, and it's Michael Misa. Patrick Kane was a first overall pick in the 2007 draft by the Chicago Blackhawks. Michael Misa, with the 3rd overall pick, I truly believe will go to the Chicago Blackhawks if he's available. He has got amazing talent finishing plays off. He plays in Saginaw, Michigan. Chicago Blackhawks' old farm team in the IHL was called the Saginaw Gears, where Michael Misa plays junior right now. All the lines lead to Chicago for Michael Misa. He's amazingly talented. He will be a dominant offensive player. You put him into that lineup with Connor Bedard in particular and the recently signed Ryan Donato and all the other good young players filtering through Chicago. This is a can't-miss pick for Chicago if he slides to 3.
Yeah, he's looking to be the highest drafted player in Saginaw history. Let's go to Caleb Denomie. This is a name I should probably get used to saying very often, Pierre. So this is a guy whose stock has been on the rise. Why has his stock been on the rise leading up to the NHL draft?
Jacqueline, first of all, I want to compliment you on your French. Incroyable, fantastique, merci beaucoup.
Our producer James helped me. I can't take all the credit. I have to say that.
Caleb Denomie is a tremendous player. I watched his father play with Marty Brodeur in junior hockey. His brother play with my son in junior hockey in Canada. Elliot, who's part of the Philadelphia Flyers organization. This kid's a real deal. He reminds me so much at the same age of Jonathan Toews when Jonathan Toews was playing at Shattuck St. Mary. Jonathan Toews has been one of the best leaders in the National Hockey League over the last 30 years. I can say that with confidence. Denomie is very similar. Calm, cool, collected, smart with the puck, very good leadership qualities, and all he ever does, everywhere he goes, Jacqueline, is win. That's exactly what you're looking for. So if he slides back a little bit, somebody's going to be really happy. One little caveat to my storyline, Barry Trotz, the general manager of the Nashville Predators, spent a lot of time in Moncton, New Brunswick this spring. That's where Caleb Denomie played. Nashville has a 5th overall pick, Jacqueline.
Okay, so maybe they're up to something there. When we're talking about D-men, of course, like Matthew Schaefer, that is where a lot of the attention has been. But if we go to Jackson Smith, who is, arguably the 2nd best defenseman here in this draft, what do we need to know about him? What makes him so special, Pierre?
You are so spot on. I'm going to the casino with you later. You're hitting it right out of the park. Jacqueline,
I wouldn't advise that. I'm really not good at betting. Let me just say that, my friend.
This guy's an elite puck mover. He is big. He is physical. He is beyond his years in terms of maturity and understanding how to play defensively. He's not as good as Schaefer offensively. That's why he slides back and is a 2nd overall defenseman on my list anyways. The biggest thing that I like about Jackson Smith now, he's leaving the Tri-City Americans in the Western Hockey League, and that's not a knock on their program, but he's going to play at Penn State University, and I think that's going to help him a lot. The coach at Penn State is Guy Godowski. He's a good friend of mine. I actually worked with him when he was a player and I was a coach back in the day, and he's a tremendous facilitator and grower of talent. And Jackson Smith going to Penn State is going to help him a lot. It's the right move, and this kid's outstanding. He's a very, very good player.
Pierre, we certainly appreciate it, getting us pumped for the NHL draft, which again starts tonight, 7 Eastern from LA. And looking at that draft order, the Islanders, they have the #1 overall pick, and they're very likely going to take Matthew Schaefer, the top D-man here, the top player, consensus #1 overall pick. But also, keep in mind, they just made a trade. Now they have 3 picks in the first round, including 16 and 17. And there are reports out there that they're going to trade those picks and move up to get James Higgins.